a podcast created by two guys brought together by movement, transformed into brotherhood. The boys share their authenticity as they deep dive into what it means to explore this human experience, shedding light on personal trials and accumulated wisdom. Conscious Collingwood is meant to provoke thought and insight to expand your personal awareness. Come along for the journey as Justin and Jeff exemplify what it means to be a man living wholeheartedly, balancing the divine, masculine, and feminine. Welcome to Conscious Collingwood.
Tommy, Rob, and I we created our own little group.
Good.
Yeah.
That's important.
I reached out to those boys and I'm like, let's do our own Sober October group because I don't want to bug the other boys, but I think it's important that we check in.
Yeah.
And just as much as me, but I think those boys also would appreciate that.
Throw me in the group. I'm not going to be sober through the whole thing.
Do you live your life pretty intentional?
Very, yeah. I'm not inebriated very often. I enjoy it. That's why I don't do Sober October, because it's so few and far between.
Yeah.
I'm so open to an experience as it comes, or like as it arrives. Why do you feel like you need or want to participate in Sober October?
You know what it was? In hearing our boys post, like he shared that in their group, and it was the leader in me that came out and wanted to support him.
Phenomenal.
It wasn't so much about myself. It was actually, I think he needs a partner. Mm-hmm. He needs a ride or die sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to help and support. And that's why when I created the group, I was like, I'm only doing this. Maybe I shared it in our group too, but like, I'm only doing this if we check in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just say we're doing this, whatever else, and we, 3 weeks goes by and we're like, how are we doing? It's like, no, like, whether it's every other day, 3 times a week, whatever, but
good.
I want to check in because it's easy to fall back into our patterns and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Depending on where we're at. And so that would be the number one reason.
Yeah.
And then the number 2 reason is I felt so good in August completing your challenge, because I said that to myself. I want to finish it strong. Mm-hmm. And so that meant eliminating booze. And I stuck to it. Although I did cheat a couple days before because it was your birthday and I had a tequila. So that was done with intention.
Amen.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I also, I ended up eating pizza buck naked in my hot tub with some non-alcoholics, so that was kind of
Well, you're celebrating my birthday by yourself.
Yeah.
So.
What are friends for?
Doing that.
Yeah.
Sure, it was a wonderful time.
Yeah, but again, I felt like my September was lived so unconsciously. I was just so unfocused. Like, I was focused, but I wasn't focused.
Yeah.
And I want October to be a rocket ship. And we have so much going on with the girls. The business is reopening. We're short-staffed, and I'll be honest, it's pretty easy to be cleaning up here at night and tap into the bar. So cleaning up, pushing the broom around, cleaning, whatever, and I'll just have one, and then it might lead to 2, and that's fine. But then if you do that every other night or something, and it's too much. I don't need it, and so I just want to recode myself and be a little more mature with drinking. Because I think there's almost some underlying tones. I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic, but I think there's tendencies where I can just binge to some degree, where, in 1 week I could pound through a case of beer or something, but then I don't drink for 2 weeks. So there's this weird equilibrium. It's very fascinating to me when I witness it.
Yeah.
So, but I would say I'm definitely getting better. And especially when I make the decision, it's just cold turkey. It's just like, no, this was the intention. Yeah. We're going to slay August, and we do it. And I feel the same way here in October.
Yeah. That's great. I actually was at a dinner party the other night, and we got a tarot card under our napkin. And we get to bring this home. So, and there was this woman that she was able to channel. She talks to guides that tell her information.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was reading everybody's tarot. And it was phenomenal. It was, I know that some people can think that's a little bit woo-woo, but
Did you read your own first and take a message from it? Or it was just...
I know what the devil means.
Oh,
I got the devil. Yeah, which...
It's not the worst card.
No, but this woman, she doesn't know me. This woman doesn't know me, never met me before, but she was like, what I'm getting for you is you need to be very mindful of your procrastination patterns so that you can succeed in the work that you're creating right now. And my procrastination patterns are like, I will make food, I will clean my place, I'm pretty cool just sitting and being in meditation and presence. Like, I actually enjoy letting the world slow down a little bit because I am quite busy all the time. That's an easy procrastination. And sometimes I like to smoke pot and paint.
That's beautiful.
It's honestly very enjoyable, but the devil is, what's pulling you away from, usually, like, oftentimes it's substance, but what's pulling you away from, creating what you want in your life, or what's the procrastination, the distraction. So it was a good reminder.
Do you feel like you're avoiding like copyright for your business or putting yourself out there? Like, so if I may ask, like, where's your...
I'm probably avoiding working 24/7. And oftentimes I catch myself, like, I leave work and then I'm like, ooh, I get to go home and work more, because I'm in that phase of my life where I'm in the creation phase, and I almost feel like a responsibility of, like, you left your golden handcuffs to pursue your dream, and now my finances are really reliant on the amount of work I put in. And sometimes, like, technically I do have a little bit of consistent income, but it's not always totally consistent now. And it's dependent on how much I put in, how much, all that. So when it's like that and you dive into procrastination too much, then you almost feel like this, like, guilt, like, ooh, like, am I gonna be tight next month or whatever? I haven't been, but it is trying to find that balance where I'm like, I just want a break, but can I take that break?
See, when I hear you speak, I feel like that is a completely healthy balance coming from where I came from. So do you feel like your creative juices are flowing so much that you have to not have to turn it off, but you're feeling the need to turn it off? No. Or else you would work 24/7?
No, it's almost like forcing myself to work. Like, I'm not, like, in the evening, I'm not very creative.
Okay.
I am, like, in the morning, I'm the most creative. Like, I get downloads, I'm like, could write for hours, but in the evening, I just don't feel that motivation, but I could sit down and paint for hours. Like, that's something because I get to turn my mind off, I get to create without an outcome, technically.
I know exactly where you're coming from when it comes to kind of exchanging time for money sort of thing. Like, I'm sort of in that phase a little bit too, like waiting for the golf club to reopen. I didn't take on a ton of turf work this year, and so yeah, typically my income is based on how much action I put forth. And so I hear you, and I actually would believe that some of my back issues have been due to that overwhelm and that sense of responsibility of taking care of the family, taking care of the businesses, whatever else, and it not being super consistent. And so, burning through cash and fixed incomes and all that sort of stuff, or fixed expenses, you're like, whew, we need to get going here, right? But I had to give myself permission at the start of the summer to give myself some room to breathe, because I didn't know really where I wanted to go. And I've been working really hard for a long time. And if I had another summer where I grinded and did, kind of went against my heart, if you will, who knows what bad could have happened. Because last year was really tough on me. I got through it, but it was enough. And so when I listen to you, I'm like, I think as long as you are, and if you're looking for advice, but as long as you are unsolicited advice, but I think as long as you're maximizing your time in the morning and not procrastinating from that, then Gucci, right? Just live your afternoon and go take care of yourself and do your runs or do your painting and stuff. And because I know for me sometimes my procrastination is because I'm not lined up with the energy, right? And so if I am sitting at my desk or doing something, I'm like, I need to be doing this, this, and this. If I can't focus or it's not flowing, then I might as well be doing something else. I might as well be painting, or I might as well be cooking or playing with the girls or doing something, right? So it's all about that alignment too.
Yeah.
So I for some reason, I'm just like, I think you have to watch the words you're using a little bit.
I know, I do.
Yeah.
You know, I am, like, I live with and are best friends with two very highly productive people 24/7, and yeah, I know that I'm doing enough. I just I can get caught in expectation because I do expect a lot from myself, which is normal.
Dude, it's funny this topic's coming up because I had this on Sunday for myself, where I had this moment of, I'm not, like, I was my second day of being hungover. It was slowly getting better. I didn't say this, like, for context, I got completely inebriated on Friday. Saturday was a write-off. Sunday got better. I hadn't been in that position for a long time, but I actually didn't spank myself really at all. But Sunday a little bit, I was like, okay, you're 40 now. There's only so much time left on this planet. We got to do some shit. And then I was really pushing myself, and I was like, but for what though? Like, just relax a little bit and maintain your center, maintain your alignment, and whatever's meant to be will be. And when I'm lit up to do the next thing, I'll do it. And I'm working towards that. And so even with the, it's the idea of coaching and this place, and maybe there's an addition onto this or an expansion, and it's like, I don't know, putting pressure on myself to be bigger and bolder than I am right now. But that'll come in time. So I got to make sure I'm kind to myself and not pushing too much. Because where I was going with this is, it comes back to comparing ourselves. Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's like, well, are you potentially comparing yourself to the two other people you're around a lot because they are go-getters and whatever else? And I know, like, I just had a conversation with my mentor, Paul. I was speaking with his son, and this guy's a go-getter too. He's got land, he's developing this, developing that, sold his millwright business, the family business. It's just like the financial abundance of just being able to do whatever he wants. And that's great and all, but then I reminded myself, I'm comparing myself to his life. I am also aware that he's had illness in his life, and there's other stuff, strife. And so, who knows, he might look at my situation and go, fuck me, Jeff's life's a lot simpler. I'd actually dig that, I'm not saying he would, but my point is, it's like, the grass isn't always greener, right? So it's such a tough one. It's like you came from construction, I did too, and that grind, working hard and having a result. And then we're both kind of in a season as we develop these businesses where we're using our minds more and our hearts more. It's really challenging.
Yeah, it's recalibrating what a successful day looks like.
Yeah.
Because we used to be able to visually see it.
Yeah. And here's something that just hit my head here. Like, I literally just got out of 2 weeks of pretty decent back pain, and I'm already asking myself, what more can I do? It's like, you just didn't learn a lesson, meathead. Like, slow down, because I think I mentioned, like, I really do feel like now my wealth is my health, and if I don't have that, you could have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's just like, continue to surrender to the moment, just slow down, be present as possible. So that's why I kind of giggling when I hear your story. So I'm just like, it sounds like a good day.
Yeah.
And the thing with your job too, Justin, is that you're so committed to your clients that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You're taking their stuff on, you're giving all yours and your presence, so you only have so much energy likely at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I'm a hermit, so a lot of social, like being social, just drains me real quick. I need to be alone in my cave for a bit.
Yeah. But again, it's your ability to have that awareness, and I don't know how long this has been implemented, but you've adjusted your morning routines and adjusted your schedule. So it's like, your wisdom to pay attention is pretty impressive.
Practice what you preach. If I gotta sleep with myself at night, if I'm not in alignment with my values, who am I as a coach? You know?
Yeah.
That's number one.
You want to talk about another why too, for the Sober October. That's another part of it, because if I'm going to coach people and stuff, I got to be accountable. And I think for the most part, I practice what I preach. But I obviously can slip off the deep end once in a while. So I'm not looking to be perfect. And I learned a lot from the experience. But still, it's like, okay, we can be better.
I with all those things, I'm always in a more balanced way. Like, I get it, Sober October, or like full on sobriety, totally. Go for it if you want it. But I avoid any extreme or any like too far in one way. I say, and I took a year off alcohol and like drugs, just pot, and and it helped me gain a lot of perspective. And then I started integrating it back into my life, and I realized that the situations situations where I was situations myself with the substance started like slowing down until the point where now I can maybe count, and this isn't a brag, this is just the reality of my life, but maybe like I can count on two hands the amount of times I drank this summer. I kind of wish that there was more, but I don't ever lose myself with the substance. I believe that life is meant to be celebrated, and I have it like fully under control, and I know myself with it. So it's I don't need to like go into this like where I'm forcing this sobriety onto myself with these rules and regulations, and that's with everything. Yeah. So it's just trying to find that balance and fostering trust within myself, like sitting down at a table with the things and be like, well, here's the abundance of all the substances. Are you going to indulge? And it's like, no, I don't need to.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's a greater test for me.
Yeah. Well, and for me, that's kind of what you're alluding to, is the test with me, like I have an open bar at my disposal. And so it's still like reprogramming, rewiring myself to just make sure. And, I'm not saying in November that it won't happen when I'm cleaning with some great staff, whenever else we won't crack one, because it's actually a kind of I wouldn't say a team building experience, but it's just kind of fun to celebrate. Yeah. I have a great Saturday night. The place is rocking, people leave, and then you're cleaning up, you turn the tunes on here and have your own little party, and have one pop, and then just enjoy the night. Like, it goes a long way. Yeah. And it actually builds a lot of morale with your staff. Like, it does go a long way. But I think I'm still in the rebuilding phase and the recoding phase to some degree.
But in that year, I learned how to say no really well. Yeah. And I also learned how to have a really good time without it.
Yeah. I think that's the bigger thing, is learning how to, if you have to be lubricated to dance and stuff, I think that, like, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can dance without being completely awkward and stuff. Yeah, it's fun. But to your point too, like, I know, because I've put that pressure on myself to, whether that's to be perfect or to not ever drink again, and I think I went 4 or 5 months one time, and we were at a family gathering or something. The pressure was just too much to succumb. It's like, but I get up in the morning and go to work. It doesn't ruin my life. So to put this pressure on me to always say no just doesn't feel healthy. If actually that mental masturbation, as you say, like, it was hurting me more than having the drink. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so
if the mental masturbation, if that hurts you, and also the guilt afterwards. Yeah. I always say the guilt you feel, if you feel guilt after enjoying yourself and having a good time, it's worse for you than all the substance that you drank or whatever you did.
It could be booze, it could be Oreos, it doesn't matter.
Let it go. Yeah. And be okay with how you showed up, because I'm sure it was a fun time.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Beat yourself up over it.
Not that I don't know if proud is the right word, but like, when I was hungover on Saturday, I didn't actually beat myself up really. I was just like, it is what it is. It happened, Jeff. And dude, I would have crucified myself in times past, like, you know, so there's a little bit of growing up.
Yeah. There was I was happy when you texted me. Sending me hungover. I was like, good for you. Good for this guy.
Although,
because you're in a beautiful phase of your life.
Yeah.
Celebrate it.
Yeah. Frick yeah. But it was funny that the last time I think you got carried away and the last time I got carried away, the same person was involved.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's, that's a good reflection for that person. Hopefully he listens to the podcast.
Although.
He's sure fun though.
Yeah. Although I don't think I can share the blame. I think it was all on me. Like, he didn't pour the bottle of wine down my throat.
Yeah, no.
He did keep filling my glass up.
That's very kind.
But
it's a gentleman right there.
Hospitality was on point.
Yeah.
But, oh man, it was a good night. But yeah. But I did. I remember laying in bed too on the weekend. I was just like, yeah, I dare say envious of your ability to be responsible and live your life with that authority and stuff. Yeah, if I can share that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. It came from a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, it was just hard to live with myself, with some of the realities that I had to go through.
Yeah.
I was that kid that had to touch the fire to make sure it was hot, and then touch it again to be sure. And then because I forgot, I'd touch it again.
Yeah.
You know, and it sucked. But I wouldn't be where I am without all those experiences. So
yeah,
that's the way it is.
Well, I'm looking forward to working with the boys and being in their group and just seeing where it goes, because no different than your 60-day challenge, the whole point of this, Sober October is to create that lifestyle and that understanding that you can live in this mode, but also, indulge when you can here and there and use it with intention.
Yeah.
Right? So
instead of having 6, have 1.
Yeah.
And then that's hard. Have 1 and then call it. That's much harder than none at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I'm speaking for myself.
No, it's accurate for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we've discussed before, like sometimes the cells just want to party.
Oh yeah.
So you got to give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I was never a great drinker. I never drank till I was probably actually of age, 19 or whatever the hell it was. I maybe underage drank a couple times in high school. I was just the good little church boy.
Yeah, good for you, Jeff.
But no, athletics and golf and things like that worked a lot. But so I was kind of focused on that as opposed to a lot of partying and whatever else. Mm-hmm. But I was never a good drinker. Mm-hmm. I was never a big lad, so I think it just pickled me. But as I get older even more now, it's like, it's not worth it. That's also part of it. The hangovers just don't hit me like they used to.
Fuck.
Like prior to you coming to Collingwood, they used to have the Elvis Festival here.
Yeah.
You're probably aware of it, obviously.
Yeah.
And
too bad.
I mean, dude, when we were 19, 20, 21, all that sort of stuff, like it was a good time.
Yeah.
And I remember being out all night and going up to the golf course to go to work in the morning, fucking no shoes on, just shorts, bare feet, going to cut golf greens, just pie-eyed.
Yeah.
Didn't go to bed the whole night.
Yeah.
My one buddy, Shaker, he drove, so he was the DD or whatever, but we went up early, maybe caught half an hour sleep in the parking lot waiting for the boss to open up shop, and just did it.
Yeah.
But somehow we survived and didn't put a triplex in the pond or whatever, but like looking back, I couldn't do that now.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And thankfully, our daughters are older now, so it's not like they need to be attended to and all that sort of stuff. So, there's that to deal with. But if I was like that years ago, I know Terry would have ripped me a new one. Like,
oh yeah, man, the fuck up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men in our situation of both our ages that have bigger responsibilities, but are still that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No wonder the women get frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have I don't know why it's coming up for me. I got a quote here. Did I take a picture of it? So Sarah Mack, they're one of the love lifters.
Yeah.
So she shared this today, and it kind of summed up my September. You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
It's from this book. I can't tell what the title of the book is, but it says, let's see if I can read this on camera.
Do it a sultry voice.
No. Resilience isn't always toughness. Sometimes it's the softness to simply let things move through you. Sometimes it's the willingness to not act on emotion you would not want more fully expressed, but just to feel them and let them go. And so for me, just that whole concept of resilience doesn't mean you have to get up and physically do something. Maybe you can just be soft in the moment, just observe what it was and then let it go. I was like, holy fuck, that was my entire September.
Yeah.
Like not to come into October and grind. It's like, no, like maybe a little bit here and there. Be productive.
Yeah.
Have a balanced, measurable productiveness, but you don't make up for what you feel like you lost in September.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how when I started talking here today, that's kind of how I felt. It's like, fuck, I wasted a month. But I forgot that.
What'd you do?
Well,
you
I
did a
forget.
lot.
I did accomplish a lot. Yeah.
How often I've noticed that it's pretty common for people to get, because I don't like to speak about other people's experience, but I work with people on their challenges. So I think that I do have a little bit of insight into like what people are struggling with. And one thing I do notice is this like wishing things were a different way than they were, and feeling like I should have had like gotten more done, or it should be different than the way it was. It's like, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And how much discomfort is that bringing you now emotionally, and how long are you going to carry that with you?
Yeah.
Because it's a pattern, and it's just going to keep that, like, regardless of your achievement, it's going to slip in.
Yeah.
Because that's how your brain works now.
No, 100%. Dude, I just got lost. I was just thinking, like, listening to you, and I'm just like, where are we going next? Fucking first mental gaffe.
Yeah.
You know, for me, yeah, like this productiveness, like again on Sunday I woke up and I was like, I should be here with my business, or I could have done this with my athletics or this and that. It's like, but you didn't, and you have a beautiful family, and you have 2 daughters that rely on you to be a leader and lead by example. And right in that moment I just grounded myself. I was like, that's your responsibility. Like there's nothing else, is to provide for them, show them the way, maybe not the right way, but a positive way, and that's my responsibility on this planet. You know, and it's also to fulfill some desires and, you know, stuff I want to achieve as a higher self and all that good stuff. But still, it's like, no, like you just said, you're in this situation. You can't change it, right?
All you really ever have is the moment, and how you're going to set yourself up for the next.
Yeah.
So it's like, and everything you hold on to is weight emotionally. So you can either see the way, your past is, the way it is. You can forgive and let go, have compassion. You can have anger, all the stuff.
Yeah.
But at what toll are you willing to hold on to it?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I need to do some more breathing in this moment. I can even feel the weight of even through this discussion, the amount of pressure I put on myself to whatever. But today, actually this morning, I was preparing breakfast and whatnot, and I had a one-on-one session with a guy named Kyle Cease, and he was a comedian turned kind of comedic transformational coach, and I followed him for a long time, and he's really good at what he does. And his method and his approach to life is really just living from your heart, like just literally, like the likes of you and I are trying to do, or do. And I listened to it back, and I just, recognized how sneaky my patterns can be. And I'm glad I listened to it today and watched it again, because it really just did bring up a lot of stuff that I witnessed in September. And so where I'm going with this is one of his big messages was, or the entire message was, like almost just validating emotions. And so for me, especially during this call with him and witnessing the video, it's like trying to justify and find reason for every emotion. And sometimes they just need to be validated. I know when we were raising our girls, we're trying, if they get upset or they're going through a tough time or something, it's not so much explaining why it's happening or console them. It's like they need their emotion validated. And I think her name is Dr. Shafali. She preaches that a lot. It's like, it doesn't matter what happened, what the cause was. They just, that emotion needs to be validated so it can be seen and then it can dissipate. And why I bring that up is because like all the stuff I went through out west, it's literally everything Kyle and I had talked about. And it's like I didn't allow myself to feel pressure or give myself permission to be nervous and feel that pressure. Like I just fucking kept suppressing it down, being like, no, you got this. Like you're gonna execute. And I envisioned a standing ovation. I put all this pressure on myself, and that was all good. And I could recognize that I was having pressure and the nerves, but I truly didn't validate them. Does that make any sense? Mm-hmm. Like I witnessed them, but I never said, okay, Jeff, it's okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, it's okay to want the standing ovation. Mm-hmm. I put them there, and then...
Would you, sorry to cut you off.
No.
When you felt the emotion, was it like you were just like almost coddling yourself as like you were parenting yourself like, you got this, like...
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
focus here now. Focus here now.
Yeah, exactly. Like
instead of feeling and
mm-hmm.
allowing yourself to kind of
yeah, that's a great question and point. I know I was rehearsing one last time for a friend, and while I was out there, and she was, for me to get started, I think I mentioned this before me, but it was hard to get started in a speech sometimes when I was rehearsing. But once I got started, I could get in the flow and whatever, get through it. But I was having trouble getting started, and I was feeling nervous, and she didn't push me, but I had to really build myself up. But my point is I never gave myself permission to feel the nerves. I just kind of walked over them, So that's an example. And then the other big takeaway for me too was the pain I was feeling in my back. Like I never allowed myself to feel the pain. Mm-hmm. I never said, if people would ask me, like I fucking walk around like an 80-year-old man. People are like, you okay? Yeah, it's just some discomfort. Yeah, it's just whatever. I never labeled it as pain because it was painful. And I never let myself feel because I was comparing myself to other people's journeys or their stuff. So my whole point is that like the pattern of justifying why I'm in pain. Well, you took on a lot, or you were dancing like a goofball on the Friday, or whatever it might have been, as opposed to the pain just wants to be seen. Mm-hmm. I'm here, see me,
yeah.
And then I'll go away.
Yeah.
To some degree.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I put myself through a lot with that. I'm still processing it, to be honest. I mean, this is probably the third time you've heard this story. Okay. But it's been heavy.
Yeah.
It was a heavy month, but I did learn a lot. But all that to say, I think there's something so beautiful about what Kyle taught me, and again, I see it in you and your journey through relationship and business and everything else. It's your ability to validate things and then move through it quickly. So that's something that I'm trying to practice more, because I really feel if I could look back in my journey through September, if I had been more conscious and focused and maybe had better tools or practices, daily routines, even just a meditation, it's like, okay, what's here for me today? Mm-hmm. Is there anything that needs to be seen? Oh, there is? Okay, what is it? Okay, I see you, and then move on. Mm-hmm. But it was just a goddamn blur.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a muscle. It gets stronger. It gets easier. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I've had so much intensity in my life that if I held on to it all, which I kind of did, that's obviously why I had substance issues when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But once I realized that it's the past, I can let it go.
Yeah.
And to be a little bit more present with the present, or just present in the now, and know that I can't change the past. I have to come to acceptance with it, or I'm gonna hold it.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me, but
Yeah.
it comes in time.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty good at the most part. And I mean, I feel like I'm being pretty critical of myself. Like, even hearing myself speak with Kyle on the call, I was like, oh, you're pretty wise, Jeff. Like, there was a lot of good things I was saying.
Wise, dude.
But you're right, that radical acceptance, and Peter Crone has a great quote, and it's, what happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way because it didn't.
It's done.
Right? And it's like, yeah. So even when I was just sharing about, my Sunday waking up going, oh, I maybe should have done this with athletics or business, whatever, I was like, well, you didn't. Yeah. And everything is happening in perfect order.
Yeah.
Right? We're not on this couch together if it wasn't for all the bullshit and all the things that led us here, right? So.
And life is going to get better the better you get at releasing expectation.
Yeah.
From the past.
Yeah.
You can't expect anything from the past.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And that's all it is.
This might be a silly question, but how important do you feel routine is to maintaining that center? Because I feel sometimes if you stick to routine too strictly, it can just, I don't know, maybe work against you.
Balance.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great question because routine helps you. I see routine as compound interest investments into a goal, either your health, finances, it could be your work. All the routine that you create allows you to have compound interest in whatever direction your goal is. But routine can pull you out of center if you're so attached to it that you can't, I'm trying to think of the word, but adapt. Life is adaptation, and one of the biggest lessons I learned from, I forget who it was, just some successful dude, was his ability to adapt, like in business, was his way of succeeding. Like, you need to be able to release whatever you've created and begin again or start new, and your ability to begin again is paramount to your success. Because if you're attached to and try forcing something that's never going to fit, it's a lot of wasted time. Like, if your energy isn't in alignment with what you want to create in this world, but you're like, I put so much energy in this, I need it to fit, I want it to fit, and you're like, yeah, it's just not going to work. So you got to let it go. And I've caught myself in this a lot because I'm a Virgo double Taurus. I love routine. I love being the same way. It makes me feel at home in myself. So when I'm pulled out of my routine, I find it quite jarring. And I can last a week and a bit, like a vacation, but then I'm ready to go home. I just need to be home. I need to find my center again. So I just know myself enough. But yeah.
That's good.
Routine's important, but it's a little different, I think.
Yeah.
Routine's a method for success in some capacity, or to achieve a goal.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I for so many years had to get up early to go to work at the golf course, and then with my landscape business and all this sort of stuff. Like, one of the routines I like now is just waking up. Like in this season, is to wake up without an alarm. Like, just go to bed, and my body will wake up when it's ready.
Amen.
And I struggle from time to time because it feels like I'm not being productive, or I'm
indulgence.
Yeah, but it's like, fuck you. I've worked really hard to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm still going to work at night at the golf club, and I'm still going to have a productive day. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm catching up for lost sleep and stuff, but there's an element of like, it's just something that's new. And there's actually it's actually beautiful. I try and have a good bedtime routine where I'm either reading before I go to bed and try and get to sleep by 10 o'clock or whatever else. But my body is waking up when it's ready, and I mean, it's no later than 7 o'clock, it seems. Yeah. Maybe 7:30 or something like that. But it's a bit of time for rest, and I've shared with you with some goals and things like that coming up, and so I'm going to need a lot of energy, and it'll be there when it's ready. Yeah. But I'm still in this season of kind of just recovering and whatever else, right? But
the rise and grind mentality is the most insane thing for me, because nobody feels better than they do after a good night's sleep. Could you imagine just like setting yourself up for bedtime, and then waking up without an alarm, like letting the body, that's its healing time. It'll let you know when you're ready to wake up and be conscious again. And I intentionally set that up in my schedule now, where I'm like, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, the boy's sleeping.
And there's something that, if we're talking about living from your heart, there's something about that. Like your body's going to give you the amount of sleep you want, sort of thing.
You need.
Yeah. So it's like and I've been there in the past too. This summer I've been there, like I got up at 4 o'clock or 5 in the morning. Like I might as well get out of bed and do something, because it doesn't feel like sleeping anymore. Yeah. So it's not like every day I'm sleeping in, but going to your class at 7 a.m. and stuff like that. Like there's reasons for me to get out of bed and whatnot. But my whole point is just the pressure of not having to hear a fucking alarm beeping to wake you up. Yeah. There's something that's been peaceful about that. Yeah. And healing, like you said.
Yeah. The rise and grind mentality is really, I'm going to ignore what my body's telling me for success. And I've seen a lot of these people. Yeah. That's what I do. But it's like, I'm successful. I got money to now fix all the things that I fucked up within myself, not listening.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's sit down and let's listen now.
Yeah.
Take a little time.
Think about that work though. If you're someone who woke up every day at 5 o'clock to go sit in the office and trade stocks or whatever that grind might be for them, not labeling anything, but just as an example, and it's like, now you got to do that programming.
Unwinding is a lot harder.
Yeah.
That's why I think we need to get into school systems. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that. I just want to help. We need to educate these kids young and inspire these kids young that they don't need to make as many mistakes as we did. But that's wisdom. That's what elders are for.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel it coming up again when it comes to, different business ideas and stuff like that. I can feel it coming and I'll be ready for it, but yeah, I'm just not theirs. But I feel like I have been forking a little bit, so I'm looking forward to putting or continued effort into the coaching stuff and just seeing where that goes. And even that, I still, if I'm being honest, still don't feel like know where I fit. It's just kind of, I've done it because it felt called, and I had readings and people telling me I should speak more. So it's like, I'm not saying they pushed me into doing it, but there is still this, it seems like a 50-50 thing right now, where it's like, am I actually going to do this, or am I being forced to do it, sort of thing. But again, once I get in a leadership role and something as simple as reaching out to the boys saying, hey, let's do Sober October, it feels good to support and empower, and and they're going to support and empower me too. There's always something to learn and reflect on. So it's it's definitely a
kind of goes back to the adapt when you're ready. Try it, see if you like it. Maybe it doesn't fit, maybe it doesn't feel right. Adapt.
Well, and part of the procrastination for me too is that I know what it takes to start a business. And so if it is getting clients and all that sort of shit, like it's a lot of work. So that's also part of it, just because I know what it takes. But if I'm going to do this from a heart-centered place, it's more or less just put the intention out there and let the universe fill in the grid. Like I'll set up the framework, I'll work on myself and empower myself. And then when it's ready, just, when
it's set up.
Yeah. But to be going out chasing things, whatever else, I don't have any fucking desire to do that.
No.
I'm going to post on social like I have and, share nuggets here and there, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'd be knocking on doors and cold calling people and DMing people privately. It's like, for one, that's obnoxious. But the idea of, again, is it another speaking engagement or reaching out to another men's group somewhere and sharing some words? Just I don't know, but I just know what it takes to put in the effort to build something. It's a lot, so got to make sure that I'm aligned up with it.
It's the most important thing. You gotta value it. You gotta be in alignment with the direction of your dreams and your goals. I feel like that's almost a little bit of where my procrastination has been. I'm very like conscious of my direction right now, but man, I was not for quite some time. And I was just like, didn't want to force, you can't put a Cinderella, you can't put a shoe on that doesn't fit right. Don't walk around for 10 steps, it hurts.
That's
Find
great.
the shoe that fits.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing you walking around in high heels.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. My most beautiful feature is my calves. So, I told you before, I was actually boasting a little bit recently, actually, within the last 2 hours. But me and heels.
Have you ever done a calf model shoot?
No.
That could be in the cards for you.
It honestly could be.
If you want some residual income and maybe another stream of income, that could be something for you. Yeah.
Maybe OnlyFans or something. calf stuff.
Do you think there's... Let's not get into...
We know there is.
Do you think there's calf fetishes?
Oh, for sure. You seen
specifically
like
on the calf?
Oh yeah. Elbows, armpits. This, whatever you call this crease. I'm sure. This one here, little wrist stuff.
I have a wrist crease fetish. Jesus Christ.
For sure. Why not?
Oh my God. Oh, too much. Yeah, Justin, that was nice.
That was great conversation. I like that you dressed like an adult today.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite shirts. I have a hard time not wearing it every day.
Yeah, how
I don't know why.
You lose color? I actually had that shirt in purple. Or whatever you call that.
I think it came this way.
Yeah, but it lost color. Mine lost color.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, yours is maintained really
okay.
nicely.
Yeah, it's comfortable. Yeah. Where do I go from here?
You don't need to go anywhere.
No.
Sometimes it can just be this much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ari asked me this morning, because we haven't talked a little bit.
Another 30-minute podcast here. Ask what?
So we were going to chat yesterday, and she never got back to me. She was busy with the family and stuff and whatever. So then this morning and I replied back like, I miss your questions, because I do. Like, you're obviously lucky enough to get prompted with them more often than anybody.
Almost.
And then so anyway, she sent me one this morning, and it was just like, what did she say? Like, what does your best week look like? What the hell did she say here? My apologies here. What's important to you this week? Like, what will you be proud of accomplishing this week? Simple question, but one. Mm-hmm. And mine was production. Like, I feel like I need to get a lot done. Produce. Well,
you should define that a little bit clearer.
So she came back to me, and I I have a to-do list I would like to accomplish this week.
Uh-huh.
And so she got back to me, and she was like, what I hear for me, what production is focus, and just being focused in the week. Mm-hmm. And for her, not speaking for her, but she did share that for her it's not multitasking, like just picking your task and focusing on one thing at a time, mm-hmm. and you'll get more done that way. Mm-hmm. And I know I can be guilty of trying to balance too many things and do this and that, and so. But yeah, again, maybe to summarize this podcast, again, it's even bringing this up again, it's the pressure I put on myself to get shit done. It's like, it always gets done. I always get shit done. So just be kind with your time and surrender, and just do what you can without so much pressure on yourself.
Have compassion for yourself, and also see yourself at how fucking hard you work.
Yeah.
And that it's enough. You're enough.
Well, you know what,
always.
dude? Maybe that's a fucking deeper question. Maybe I should see a therapist about that. It's probably back to worthiness.
Yeah. Know that you're enough.
Yeah.
That's my reminder. That's why I can sleep with myself at night. I'm like, I'm enough.
Mm-hmm.
The more love I pour into the world, the more the world's gonna be a little bit more loving. And that helps me feel like I did enough today. And I'm lucky enough to be, to have been in a coaching role that I actually kind of receive messages daily from people, which is the most beautiful reminder.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, and how quickly can I pass that by and not acknowledge it, like, and not sit with it, you know?
Yeah, that's almost to practice yourself, even if it took 5 minutes.
Take a minute to sit with that message. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, and that they took the time. That's what it's all for.
Yeah.
Making a difference in the world.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing how powerful those messages can be especially when you get something out of nowhere, unexpected.
Yeah.
And the quantum math involved of like this person was thinking about you.
Yeah.
Enough to send this note and that love, like.
It might not be daily, probably weekly for sure. Weekly for sure. I'm not that. Well, maybe. I'm wonderful.
You're being modest.
I'm trying to be modest again. But it is more often than you'd suspect.
Do you save them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would screenshot them.
Yeah, that's nice.
And people are like, you should market those. Or you should put that out. I'm like, no, that's for me. That's for me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to leverage that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I'm witnessing too with this whole coaching and sharing thing is, I know I was guilty a couple times when I was at West and stuff, just talking with people, just sometimes oversharing stuff. I think sometimes things are just meant for you, and not for everybody else. Even this friendship here, sometimes things aren't for everybody. It's just, you know, that's my little nugget.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes we'll record it for an hour.
Yeah.
But the conversations outside of the podcast are sometimes richer.
Yeah.
Those are for us.
Yeah. Let's go in our memory bank and a special place.
Yeah. Well,
all right,
that was great, dude.
Yeah. Cheers to sober October.
Cheers.
With a couple glasses
for
of
you.
water. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have one tonight just to tease the boys.
Thank you for being with us. We love recording these podcasts. If you know anyone who would resonate with today's episode, we would be grateful if you would share it with them. If you have any questions or comments, do not be shy and reach out. We would love to connect with you. Until next time, be well, love yourself, and live consciously.